You know, now that I'm looking at it, I'm pretty sure I've seen porn that looks weirdly close to this. So the beta for Warhammer Darktide came out recently, and I've been on a bit of a Warhammer kick recently.
Great. You have the McDonald's hat. Aren't you supposed to be on this side?
So I kind of geeked out a little bit, and I downloaded it and I played it, and wow, I was surprised. It's pretty good. I highly recommend. If that's all you wanted to hear, then you can move on. But let's break it down a little bit. Let's talk about why it's good. Okay, let's talk about gameplay, considering it's a game and you probably want to play it. If you haven't seen any clips or anything, or, you know, gameplay online, the best way I would describe it is a Left 4 Dead genre type game. You know, where you walk down a hallway and a bunch of things try to attack you. Sometimes you get some objectives, sometimes you gotta find things, sometimes you gotta kill things. Pretty simple. The fun in it comes from working as a team and not getting murdered by the group of 7 dudes with las guns. And the teamwork really helps because you'll have each one of these classes that you could pick from and you could switch from in between any time. They all do level up separately, but you get to pick from 4 different classes. So far, you've just been seeing some gameplay of my favorite operative, which I kind of played most of the time because leveling up takes a little bit of time, the Psyker class. You're kind of a well-rounded operative when you choose the Psyker class. You have, starting out, you have a revolver that does pretty good damage, and you got a sword that keeps the little guys off of you. The main thing you'll be using is your mind pop psychic powers. You've seen me probably use it in the clip. You like build up a bar and it charges and you pop someone's skull at pretty much any distance. It's really good for keeping some of the tougher guys off your team and doing picks that will just make your life easier, especially these fucking las gunners, dude. They're assholes. The second operative we're going to be talking about is the Zealot Priester. He or she is a close-range menace. Not so much as the Skullbreaker, but still really good at holding off large waves of enemies because you have a machine gun that is really good at just spitting out a lot of damage at close range. You can kind of get away with doing some medium range stuff if you burst fire, but in reality you're going to be wanting to use your special melee attack, which just clobbers through enemies and just does a shit ton of damage, and using your machine gun to hold off large groups of enemies. It's really good to have someone on your team who knows what they're doing and can hold off whole waves of some of the squishier dudes. It's pretty great. Not exactly my kind of style of gameplay, but I know a lot of people who are playing this who really digged it. Up next is my Danny DeVito looking dude, a Ogryn Skullbreaker. These dudes are massive hugs of flesh that just do so much damage at close range. They've got shotguns and knives and clubs. Just, if you need a man to hold off an entire wave of dudes pretty much by himself, you call in a Skullbreaker. He does a lot of damage. I cannot stress that enough. Everything he does, he just cleaves and kills and is just a hunk of flesh of wall. Highly recommend for people who just want to turn off their brain and swing something around, and that is okay. That's fun. And my guy looks like Danny DeVito, so I can't ask for more, you know? Their main weakness, however, is anything with range, especially las gunners, because las gunners suck. I hate them. They keep showing up. I've complained about them a lot. They're really fucking hard to fight. But yeah, highly recommend. Really fun. Turn off brain, shoot, stab. Lastly, we got the Veteran Sharpshooter. You were part of the Astra Militarum, and you did something fucky, and now you're stuck in this hellhole that is this fucking game's setting. You have a lasgun to start off with that is really good at pretty much any range because it's a lasgun, and it will just melt through most things. You can take out most enemies, some of the lower level enemies, with singular headshots. And if not, then you just keep shooting because you have a lot of ammo and you have really good range, so you're pretty good at all ranges. The melee is just a sword. I did not unlock any of the extra weapons for him, and I didn't see a lot of people playing him, so I don't have a lot of information on what he has as far as my experience goes. I've seen him with a bigger bolter, and it shoots faster, but really, just medium to long range DPS, and you got a sword for up close stuff. Quality ass gameplay, about as standard as you could get, and that's okay. Your special, you just shoot faster and more manageable. Your recoil is better. So yeah, cool. If you like that, then that's straight up your alley. Okay, so now we're going to talk about sound. Probably something you didn't exactly expect me to talk about, but really I just want to talk about the sound effects and the way the guns sound because that's really important to me. I feel like if I'm playing a video game and the guns sound bad, it can really take me out of it. Thankfully, this game has some crazy ass good sound design, at least in my opinion. I'm sure some other people have some issues with it, but the sound design is really good. Las guns sound good. Cutting things up sounds good. Cracking people's skulls with the magic powers is fantastic. I love it. I could listen to that all day. It's like an ASMR. Oh, so good. Pretty much everything when it comes to sound effects are fantastic. I didn't really hear anything that made me go, hey, you know? It was all pretty good. The music is amazing, especially the boss theme, which I'm gonna play now. Yeah, that's pretty good. It's pretty fucking great. Although all I hear is Halloween celery. But, you know, that's just me being a goober. The sound is fantastic. The music's great. Huh, it's good. As far as story goes, as of right now, there isn't too much. I know there's some deep lore. I've seen the I've seen the lore videos. As far as I'm concerned, there's an overarching story. It's written by Dave Abnett, and he wrote the Eisenhorn trilogy, which is, oh, those are good books. I listened to them on Audible, which isn't today's sponsor because I don't have a sponsor. But yeah, it's written by Dave Abnett, so I'm sure when we get an elaboration on the story and we can actually get to see what's happening, it's going to be fantastic because he's fantastic. But for now, I don't really have much to say about it other than, like, the hub is cool and talking to all the different, like, contractors or whatever is cool when you're doing the missions. But other than that, that's pretty much it. Yeah, that's the review. A little bit short. That's okay. Thanks for watching. Cool. All right, bye, guys.